Today I'd like to talk to you about control panel overlays. I've recently installed a couple reprints, aftermarket ones, and wanted to show you what my findings are. This is a re-theme or conversion that's been converted before, and too much was missing to make it back to the original. I always wanted a Mrs. Pac-Man cocktail table, so doing my best to make it look nice. I'm still got a little bit of work to do. Board's not booting currently, and I need to put the rubber molding, the T-molding on the control panels, and it did have a lot of work done to it, but I want to focus on the control panels. So this control panel, I've taken, stripped down all the art, everything, welded the holes shut as much as possible in order to get it to fit this Galaxian cabinet, because normally the Pac-Man, which would have been this cabinet without the T-molding on the sides, would have been Pac-Man, Galaxian, a couple others. Pac-Man had a deeper box that allowed for the original joystick, and this was cut from the previous conversion, so me and my dad had to repair this and replace the bottom board, completely disassemble, put it back together, and so I repainted the black on the inside and try to hit the edge here, so when I put that molding on, if it's a little short or a little wood showing, you're not going to see that. Control panels were pretty messed up. What I did is I welded in all the holes. I didn't want any carriage bolts, or I don't think for home use you need plastic covers. I wanted it to look nice that way. So I welded them all in. For the bigger holes, I just tack welded it. The more heat you put into these control panels, the more they're going to warp. And it's not the prettiest of welds, but it works. But for the joystick, I drilled holes out, and I took 1024 threaded rod, cut it into about 1/2 inch lengths, and put it through the hole, welded it from the top side, ground it flush, and before I used a body filler on the top just to smooth it out, and then I used a body filler on top, actually using it on metal, gave it a good sanding and painting, and it didn't turn out perfect. You can see a little bit of imperfections. Once it's on the game and playing, it's going to be fine, just fine. So this does clear the wood box. There's no gouging or anything I need to do. I still need to drill the holes to mount this. Right now I'm also removing wiring hacks they've done, and I got to wire up the joystick on this side. The other side the controls need all the wiring. I had to run an extra wire in the cabinet to each side. Galaxian was one wire short. Other than that, almost all the wire colors are the same. And I was able to keep it nice and clean in here, not look trashy. The original power supply was in here, just not being used, which was nice. Oh, back to the control panels. This came from Escape Pod. I'm really happy with the colors, and really happy with the textures. It's just a thicker texture I would expect from a 1980, 81, 82 game. As they got later, the texture of the control panels seemed to be not as rough. So I'm really happy with that. The colors are good. I ended up putting a zippy joystick in that was short enough to mount, and I got the pink ball top because I thought that looked nice with it. I ended up doing here is the hole was a little off center on one side. It's kind of hard to see. I just cut it so just the joystick would go through and move without touching it. The disc covers it up. Overall, I'm real happy with the quality. I like the fact that I didn't have to punch any holes in here. It makes it look clean, even though it's a wider control panel than the Miss Pac-Man had. That would have been just a hair shorter. The overlay fits really well, and I was able to center everything without doing too much work. Now I also got another control panel overlay for a multicade I'm working on for someone. That's in the garage, and we're going to go out there right now. We're out in the garage now. Here's the other control panel overlay that I did. This one is designed for multicades. It is from Game On Grafix, as well as they supplied the marquee art and also the side art. Nice thing I liked about them is they were very easy to work with as far as doing some custom work. This originally was one image, and I asked them, because this cabinet was weirdly cut, to have it split. This is for somebody, so I had them pick everything out. Now this control panel overlay does have a finer texture to it, which is fine. It worked out very well with my button layout. And these are, as once again, the zippy joysticks that I used on the cocktail table game, but these are the longer shafts so that they look and feel more like a normal joystick, so that's good. And as well, the mounting bolts are welded in and body filled over. That way, less bolts coming through. I did have to put a couple bolts here. This was originally a Miss Pac-Man or Super Pac-Man, something like that, before somebody cut this cabinet up to make it into a bowling game. And now it's a multicade. So there's a piece of wood underneath here that houses the latch for the clasp for the latch to pull the control panel down. So I painted the bolts up black, which I thought that looked nice. This is on there real solid. Should be real happy with it. Want to say both companies appear to be using 3M vinyl or quality vinyl. They were very easy to install. I was real happy with the vinyl. On the back of it, it had that kind of star pattern 3M uses. So I was pretty sure that it was the same vinyl, both or the same brand. I know that 3M is some of the better stuff out there. And I just want to show you an example of a bad control panel in a multicade. This is one, I believe the marquee was also made by Game On Grafix. This is one I recently got to fix up for someone, and it just was a bad job, whoever put it together. They just put blue plexi, didn't line it up well, and didn't put anything on the front, and the joysticks hit. So this is just a board. I got a new board in the basement. Going to put T-molding on the bottom, so it's going to be a similar fit. I'm going to put clasps back on rather than wood screws holding it in place. And I'm going to center all this stuff so that it doesn't hit. It's going to look nicer, and it's going to get the same art as on that control panel. Which brings up another point of a lot of these, all these guys will do this. I know Game On Grafix does it. You ask them, say, hey, you know, I need that control panel art, but I'm not going to be able to wrap it around. What am I going to do? You give them the dimensions you want it printed, and they'll make it fit. They'll make it look good, and that's another thing I like about that. So I'm just going to give them the 7.5 by 22 7/8, and have them printed. And I'll just slap it on there, no cutting. Of course, I'll have the panel already holes drilled, ready to mount, and I'm going to give it just a quick coat of black paint, just kind of like on the boxes below or downstairs that I showed you. So if there's a little bit of a vinyl that doesn't cover, or the T-molding, which will be black in this case, if something doesn't cover right, it's going to be okay because that black will not show wood through. Also keep any moisture gets behind there. Once again, and focus on this one. Turned out real well laid down. This control panel was really wavy. There was a trackball right about here, I believe, and I had to do a lot of work to make it this flat. So I'm real happy with the way this turned out. Real happy with both the control panel overlays, and I would do business with either one of the companies again. It just depends on, you know, what product they have listed and how easy they can work with. Yeah, no complaints here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, watch our other videos, and check out all that we have in Pinball Mayhem for Pinball Arcade and other.